wrapping that up, we're going to move on to our main topic, sports games that don't suck. We know there are plenty of sports games out there that they pump out. I feel like maybe a lot of the early ones, I mean, heck, maybe on Atari, right? How good can baseball and football be on Atari? Come a long way, certainly from there. Some people love them. Maybe some people that are gamers, they just play the sports games and they love them. They get a new Madden every year and enjoy that. But there certainly was a lot that maybe didn't hit the bar. So we kind of want to showcase some ones that were a little bit better. Each made our own list and we're going
Mhm.
to discuss that and kind of give our thoughts on why these games are good. Maybe you can find a new sports game you could get into. And we try to, I think, mix it up so they're not all just baseball, football, basketball, like the main sports. We were
Yeah.
diving into some of the more obscure stuff that you would also consider sports. Do we have who do we want to go first? We didn't put a an order of we'll just bang them
No
out.
order.
Russ, you go
I
first.
started. I'll start
Go
it off
Russ.
here
You're
with
up.
my list. Keeping it simple, starting on the NES, a classic. It's kind of toss up between two of these because they had um, two games on the system. If I can pull it out of my dust sleeve, it is stuck in the dust sleeve. Hang on.
What are you doing down there, man?
Right?
Boom! I'm talking about ice hockey on the
Nice.
NES. Could have went
Very
Blades of
nice.
Steel. Could have went Blades of Steel, but
Mhm.
ice hockey, I feel like I had more fun because you can customize your team a little bit
Mhm.
more.
Mhm.
It kind of has that chibi, cutesy look to it, cartoony, maybe, makes it a little bit more fun. You could get into fights and stuff as well. And I was playing it a little bit before we started. Still holds up. It's a pretty fun one. Ice hockey on the Nintendo.
Does that one have the
Very nice.
Zambonis? Is that the one with the Zamboni scene in it?
Yes.
Where they all
Yes,
go
it
through?
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, although Blades of Steel, you actually do get to fight. Like you
Yes.
like physically get to fight. I don't think in ice hockey you can like kind of hit each other, but then like somebody goes immediately to the penalty box.
Yeah, what had happened in the game I was playing, you start getting at it, and then the whole team comes, and it's a big like, boop, 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 and then
Yeah.
the ref comes and brings you to the penalty box, and then you're
Mhm.
you're down a guy for however long he's in the penalty box. But
And you
yeah,
can create your own team on that game.
yeah, so you kind of get either like skinny dude who's going to be super fast on the ice, your medium sized build guy. There's a bulky guy who's better for defense,
Mhm.
and you get
Mhm.
to choose like, do you want all skinny guys or how you want to play? So it
Yeah.
adds a little bit of depth to it.
Cool. How about you, Keith? What's your one of your first picks?
Well,
And these are in no particular order.
these are in no particular order. We will stick with the theme that Russ started us on, and I'm going to go with NHL 94 on the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Because I think the Sega Genesis version of NHL 94 was a little bit quicker. The Genesis had just enough
Mhm.
power to make that game seem a little quicker. And there you go. Nice. Perfect. See,
We have a
great
match.
minds.
We have a
See,
match.
like I don't even like hockey and NHL 94 on Genesis. I never had that one. Like I had 93 on the Super Nintendo, but I had a
Mhm.
buddy that had 94, and I remember going there and thinking like, "This is awesome." That's the one that brought us the one timers, right? Where you go around the
Yep,
back of the
yep.
net, down the front. Like I, that's one Genesis game that I really love, and it's because I have those fond memories of it, and it's just a great
Mhm.
game. Like just in general, in my opinion, it's a
It
great NHL game.
it's also featured in the movie Swingers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Swingers with Vince Vaughn and,
Oh, okay.
No, didn't know
Jon
that.
Favreau. So, they're just like they're buddies and they go to parties and they get girls and, like that's the sort of thing, and it was released during that time where swing music was getting big in the '90s again, and, they go to each other's house and they play NHL '94, and, they talk about playing as, the LA Knights, is it? Is it the Knights?
Yeah.
Keith, remind me because I don't remember.
That's a good question. It's been
I was going to say
quite a while
Kings. Kings.
since I
Kings,
played
that's
it.
what it is. Why do
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, wait, LA Knights, isn't that like a sneaker?
I don't know.
Is that a sneaker?
The Vegas Knights, I think.
Whatever.
Again,
BK
I'm a
Knights, that's what it
horrible
is.
Canadian.
BK
I
Knights,
don't know
British
anything
Knights,
about
that's what it
hockey.
is.
I could go
Alright,
for
but
some
anyway,
BK though.
yeah.
Oh, the BK Lounge.
Anyway, there's a scene in it where you could knock out your opponent, and then when you knock him out enough, then his little head bleeds. So
Oh, wow.
that's
A little
yeah,
graphic.
it gets pretty serious. But yeah, NHL '94 is probably the best hockey game that
So
has ever
so
existed.
I'll chime in with that if you guys don't know. I just looked it up so I could be um, right on it. The NHL '94 series for the Sega Genesis receives roster updates based on regular season players. So they use that game and do a ROM hack and update the new players. So you can get NHL 2025, but on Sega Genesis, and they're using NHL '94 as the
94.
base for
It's
that.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So if
totally
you're
I
makes
can't
sense.
wait
Yeah.
for everyone in the comments to blast me on my knowledge of hockey because I know nothing. You know who's
Just
gonna blast me on
roast
it?
us.
It's NES Addict.
Yeah,
That's who's gonna
yeah.
get me. So my
The
first
yeah.
pick, and these are in again no particular order, but this is one of my favorite. Well, you know what? Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Let's just get this one out of the way. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Sega Genesis, Boom Shakalaka, Chicago Bulls. I'm usually the Charlotte Hornets. That's my team in there, but I will dabble with the Bulls as well. But
what's that in your background there?
oh, speaking of, right
There
there,
you go.
NBA Jam. So yeah, NBA Jam, one of my favorite sports titles.
I mean, that's got to be number one. I feel like, and if you made any list of like sports games, like even just
Mhm,
top sports games, not just sports games that
yeah,
don't suck, it's got to be NBA Jam, right?
yeah, yeah. I
Hang
mean,
Yeah.
Time was good
NBA
too.
Yep.
Hang
Right.
Time was great, and that's
Yeah,
the
Hang Time
sequel
was
to
great too.
Tournament
Yeah,
Edition. Yeah,
yeah.
Hmm.
but the first NBA Jam was great. Played that a ton on Genesis. Then the Tournament Edition came out. They had all the unlockable characters. Dude, game just speaks for itself. It's so much fun. And then Russ and I got to meet the voice Tim at Retro World, and he did a little promo video for me. Do you remember that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
He's
was
pretty
super
fun.
fun. Yeah,
That's
he's a
cool.
good guy. We had dinner later at the end of the night, and he got to tell us all the stories about like he also does the voice of NFL Blitz, so he does the voice acting
Okay.
in that as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my first pick.
Nice.
Back to you, Russ.
Back to me. Switching it up. I don't think this is going to be on anyone's list, so I wanted to choose it and kind of bring your attention to it. And I streamed this game a bunch and had a great time with it. Now, it's on the PS4. This one is called Everybody's Golf,
Hmm.
but it's also known as Hot Shots Golf. That's how it was known prior to the PS4. So there was games on like GameCube of the series, PS2, and all that. Over in Japan, I guess it was always called Everybody's Golf. So when it came over to this, they're like, let's just switch it. But you get to make your own golf character, so you can dress them up however you like. And I mean, I don't
There you
know.
go.
I don't play golf like Dave again. A match. He's got it on PS2.
I got
Um,
Hot Shots Golf 3.
wow, dude. Yeah, I never played any of the PS2 series of that. One of
Oh,
my
this is so
friends
fun.
at the when I worked at the game store had brought me on to Everybody's Golf, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I was freaking having a blast with it. Getting new outfits for your golf guy. Like, I don't know. What made you enjoy it, Dave? Like, why did you think golf
Oh,
was
I
so
mean,
fun?
it's wild. It's just like because of the characters that are in it. I think that was a big thing. The controls are great. You know, it's got the dials and everything. I mean, for being a PS2 game, um, it was kind of like I'm trying to compare it to another game. It just has like the comedy in it as well. So I haven't played it in a very, very long time, but all I do remember is I played it a lot. And when we're coming up with this list, I was trying to think of like different sports titles rather than all baseball or because I do play a lot of baseball games. I do play a lot of basketball games, but That's why I picked it. It's just super fun. It's like one of those games you could pick up. You know, I mean, I debated whether or not picking like Hot Shots Golf or even Mario Golf
Right, right.
on the GameCube because both of them are super fun. So I mean, I would say this would be like tied with the Mario Golf as well.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time. I was trying to do the, whatever outfits I got in the game, I was trying to
Mhm.
wear while I was streaming. I was like, "Oh, he's got a yellow hoodie. Let me get a yellow hoodie so I look just like
Nice.
my character."
Nice.
Um, it's relaxing. I mean, that's probably what the main thing is. A lot of people get into like Animal Crossing and Sims to kind of zone
Mhm.
out. I think this series is that for some people. Relax and play some golf.
Yeah, it's a good one. I approve.
Nice.
On to you, Keith.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna stick with the theme, and you kind of mentioned it, but you didn't mention this one on the Game Boy Color, Mario
Oh,
Golf. This one is like
interesting.
an RPG style of playing golf. Like you start as a character and you go to these different courses and you slowly build your character up as you go and you customize them, um, how they want to swing, the power, all that stuff, and you kind of continue through these courses trying to learn what you can and beat the pro at the course, and you can unlock the next area. And there's like a world map you can walk around on, and you can learn different skills on that world map. Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color is a lot of fun, and it's one that is probably overlooked because it's
Hmm.
just a golf game on, yeah, this. So you can customize your character. There's areas that'll teach you how to do certain things, and then you can level your character up by doing those things. There's like you got a closest to the pin or hole in one areas, and there's full courses that you can go play. You just practice them or you can play them. It's a super, super cool game.
I mean, for Game
It's one of
Boy
my
Color
favorites,
too, yeah, it's
right?
looked pretty good with the graphics and everything.
Right?
Good
And it's
detail.
got that 3 hit for the swing. You can,
Mhm.
set it where you're hitting that ball. It's it's a lot of fun. I've played an absurd amount of
Okay,
this on the Game Boy Color. Yeah,
pick
that's
it
it.
up. Get your golf
Alright.
games, people.
Exactly.
Alright. Well, my next one is I mentioned that I play a lot of baseball games, and there's one game on the NES that I still play to this day. In fact, I'm doing a league play right now, excuse me. I'm doing a league play right now, and that one is Baseball Stars. You guys familiar with Baseball Stars?
Heard of it.
Heard of it? Well,
I
this
don't think
game is
I don't
great.
think I played it. I don't know.
This is
I don't know if I have
probably
that.
my this is my favorite baseball game. They do make a Baseball Stars 2. They did make a sequel. However, the sequel is not as good as the original. You can have league play. You could choose the teams that you want. Um, the coolest thing about this game has a battery system where it will save your stats during the season. So you have league leaders through the whole thing, and they didn't really do that too much on the NES before this game. Uh, and there's one team on here that rules them all, and that is the American Dreams. The American Dreams are made of basically old time baseball players like
Oh, like
Babe Ruth,
Babe Ruth?
Joe
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
DiMaggio, and to play as them is like a super team. Uh,
Right.
and so you but I love it because every season that I would play, I would constantly try to like see, okay, which one on my team is going to lead the league in home runs or RBIs or ERA or saves. And it sets you up for goals for like playing a whole season in addition to just winning the league. So if you now also you can also create your own team on here. And if you create your own team, you can actually win money to then improve your team throughout the season.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's a really cool game. If you do play with one of like the base teams that are on there, you don't really get the money. But if you do the team, for me, I never did the custom team because it just took a lot of time to kind of build and do all that stuff. So, but I constantly find myself to this day going back to Baseball Stars whenever I just want to like the other really good thing about this too is it doesn't eat up a lot of time because if you do rule at this game, and I'm pretty good at it, there is a mercy rule. So if
Nice.
you're beating the team by 10 runs or more by an end of an inning, it calls the game.
That's
So
pretty good. So you're not just wasting
Nice,
your time
yeah.
playing like
and you're not blasting teams away.
there
So
you go.
baseball stars, if anyone has not played baseball stars yet, go get it.
Go
I
get it.
haven't played it, but I just checked and it is in my NES set, so
Play
I'm
it.
gonna play that. Like, I'm gonna try that tonight because I haven't played it yet, but it's in
So
my
good.
set.
American Dreams.
Nice.
Canadian
On to
dreams all the
you.
way.
Canadian Dreams. Canadian Dreams.
Nice. All
All
right,
right, Russ.
switching it up from your typical sports games here. No surprise. I thought I switched it up a little bit, and this one I got brand new when it came out. I was so stoked to get this game. Had a blast playing it. Now I haven't played it in quite some time. I'd love to do a live stream of it and go back. And that is Punch Out on the Wii, though, on the Nintendo Wii. This game, definitely a fun one for sure. Get some gameplay footage up here for you as well, right here. But using the Wiimotes, you can
Mhm.
even get I have them by Everlast boxing gloves that the Wiimotes go into. So then you have boxing gloves and you're punching, you kind of move side to side to dodge. And it has a lot of the classic characters in there with
Nice.
like Glass Joe, a lot of people from Super Punch Out from Super Nintendo. I think it was just a really fun way to kind of bring Little Mac back into the light. I think after this came out, then he was probably announced for Smash Brothers, right? Since he's back into the light, you're like, oh yeah, rather than pulling all the way from the NES, being like, hey, remember this character?
Mm.
But I even remember they have like a promo video of like him getting back in shape with Doc the trainer, and that was just hilarious. And it was like a live action version of Doc too.
Hmm.
But Punch Out on the Wii. I don't know if you guys ever played this or
Are you
heard
able to
about it.
play this game with just one of the like handheld controllers as well?
Nope, but you can use the Wii Fit board. It shows on the back
Ooh.
here. I'm pretty sure you have to use the motion controls
That's the one thing that like I just can't get, myself to play the Wii all that much is because of the motion controls. Like
because the
I
motion
want to sit
controls.
down with a gamepad and play games.
Yeah.
And even when I was playing the Wii, I was gravitated more towards all the games that were just with a control pad.
Right. Yeah. Just stick with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never played it with the Wii Fit board, but I guess you could stand on that and use that to dodge
Oh,
back and forth.
interesting.
Hmm.
So, I mean, then essentially you're getting a workout, right? Playing the
Hmm.
game. So, kind of doubles as that.
I wonder if it worked as good as the Power Glove.
Work better. Work
It
better.
was so bad.
I know. I know. Go
So
ahead, Keith.
none of this was planned. I didn't talk to Russ or anything like that. I literally have written down a little notebook here. But my third one on my list is Super Punch Out.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So, and I picked it because of the graphics. I love the look of Super Punch Out. I loved the original. I was Mike Tyson's Punch Out as a kid. So when Super Punch Out came out, I was fully on board. And I thought it was really cool. I'd love to have like that momentum meter where you can
Hmm.
land those haymakers and stuff across the bottom there. And
Hmm.
the graphics on this were so cool. They brought back a couple of the characters. There's a bunch of new characters to it, but it kind of has that arcade look. I think is why I enjoyed it. And one of the reasons why I kind of love it. Honestly,
Have
that
you
just looks so
played
cool to
the
me.
arcade version, like in the arcade?
I have not. No.
So this is, in my opinion, modeled exactly from the arcade because
Yeah.
in the arcade version, you're basically like a wireframe
Hmm.
Yeah.
and you're seeing through you. So
I've
they
seen it. I've
modeled
never played it,
modeled
but
it,
yeah.
yeah, modeled it
Yeah.
just after the arcade
Yeah.
game.
No. Yeah. That's it's like, I mean, it's a pattern recognition type of game, like, and they kind
Hmm.
of all, or I don't know about the Wii one that Russ was looking at there, but that's kinda, figure out the pattern, and there's a lot of characters in this one, so it can be a little frustrating trying to figure out all the patterns, but
Mhm.
Super Punch-Out, I think it's a great game and totally worth if you haven't played it, worth picking up and trying.
Nice.
All right. All right, guys. It's gonna happen. The
It already happened.
trifecta.
Oh,
Oh,
We
nice!
got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Look at that. We got a match. Were you gonna say that one, or are you sticking with the Wii version?
I had pulled this out and I was wearing the shirt and I was like, you know what? It's a classic for sure. I think it's just, again, I grew up not playing a whole lot of sports. So I feel like
Mhm.
gravitating towards the not baseball, football, basketball,
Yeah.
Mike
Right.
Tyson punch out. Certainly, I put plenty of hours in this.
Oh yeah, for sure. All day long. Um, I have some good memories with this game, trying to figure out the patterns, doing all that. I remember my brother and I playing it, for quite some time, and then trying to figure out I think a lot of the times we got up to oh, who was it? The Indian guy. What the heck is
Piston
his
Honda.
name? No, it
Yeah.
wasn't Piston. That's
No,
Piston Honda.
that's just not it,
That's
Oh,
yeah.
you
that's
said,
Oh,
oh, the
the
Indian, the Tiger King or whatever.
yes, yeah, the Tiger King. We used to
Very
get
good.
up to him a lot, and then once we would get to like the second bald bull, we knew we were like doing really well. And then I would typically get up to after a lot of practice. The Mr. Sandman was definitely one that I got up to the most. And then there was who was the one Super Macho Man, I believe, was after him. And then I think after Super Macho Man was Mike Tyson's, and forget it. To this day, I can't beat Mike Tyson.
no, no.
I
Great
can't.
Tiger. Great Tiger is his name.
Great
Great
Tiger.
Tiger.
So, the pattern recognition in it, like, you still know those I mean, you still know all the patterns, you still know the code. Everyone, they make T-shirts on the Mike Tyson code.
Oh, I don't have
Uh,
the code. I just have.
oh, yeah, I've seen T-shirts that
Right?
just have the number, and
Mhm.
you know that it's the Mike Tyson's code. Um, there's just so many cool memories, and nostalgia behind Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for anyone that was growing up during that time.
Mhm.
And I will say, once once they lost the license for him, and then they went to the Mr. Dream,
Yeah.
and even past that, kind of stung a little bit. Not gonna lie, and I think that's a reason why I never really got into Super Punch Out or anything like that because I just, Mike Tyson was the game, so you
Right.
got it.
He
He
just
sold
helped
this game,
sell it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
what was the sequel to it? Was it Ring King? Was technically the sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Power Punch 2
Power, yeah.
Power Punch 2, yeah, okay.
in
And,
space.
yeah, in space, it wasn't a very good game.
No,
Uh, but yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out for sure. I would take this one over Mr. Dream any day, and I'll
yeah,
take it
I would
over
agree.
the Wii version and the Super Nintendo version any day just because of the amount of nostalgia that comes behind it.
And it's cool because it's got, like, those little cut scenes that we were kinda seeing there in between, and, you
Mhm.
got, like, Doc riding with you and stuff, and Super Punch-Out doesn't have that. That is one thing that I do wish Super Punch-Out had, was some of those cut scenes and stuff like that. So, I think we just completed, like, a trifecta of Punch-Out, though, there.
S
Like,
That's a
all the way
sport
around the
Triforce.
horn, right?
Yeah.
sports games that don't suck, it's Punch Out, all of them.
Right? Just all the Punch-Outs, just go with it.
All the Punch Outs, yeah, nice.
I think again, like sticking with the punch out, I think why it resonated so much is because they chose such a high rankings like boxing celebrity. They were able to get that license, put him on the box. So like we're young kids, right? And our parents, maybe they're watching boxing and they know who Mike Tyson is, and they're like, oh, that game's probably cool. Like I've seen him box and he's really good. I'll pick that up for you. Rather than if you're getting some other sports game, you're like, "Ah, I don't know if this
Yeah,
is gonna be good," you know? I feel
I
like
mean, you
that
could
certainly
buy
helped
Wayne
it.
Gretzky's hockey, and you're definitely gonna stumble there because that one isn't good, and it does have that
no.
celebrity endorsement,
Oh,
right?
wow, okay, yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
played that
Yeah,
one there, so bogus on that one.
yeah.
yeah. And I remember too playing this game too, like, as a kid, you wanna kind of like role play a little bit and you're gonna be like, you are Little Mac, and you kinda like create your own script in your head. or maybe that was just me, and I was just a weird kid. But I remember, being like, hyping myself up and kind of commentating along as I would play the game, and then you would rank higher and higher and higher, and you'd feel like little Max starting from the ground and going up the ladder.
Absolutely. Do you have another one, Keith? Or
It is, but it's kind of the same. I've already talked about Mario Tennis, exactly the same, but just a tennis version of Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color.
wow, I
It's
like
like a
that you
role
chose
play tennis,
two Game Boy Color games when you pull them
right?
out and they're so tiny.
Right. There's these little tiny guys. Another great game. If you again, kind of a obscure one that a lot of people aren't going to play, but if you're into tennis games, Mario
Does it
Tennis.
play like the golf?
It plays exactly like the golf. The character almost looks the same in it, and you're leveling your character up, and you're going from different tennis places and powering them up and playing the different people you're against. It's another great one on Game Boy Color. If you're looking for something to travel with, those are a lot of fun.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Do you have another one, Russ?
It was the Punch Out. Yeah,
Oh, okay. The other one was Punch
so
Out.
that's a trivia.
I have well, so I have one more, but I also have another one that we definitely should talk about, only because of what this week is,
Yeah, I
and that
figured
is
maybe bring that up after we do the comments and stuff, or you want to do it? We'll just do
oh
your
well,
two now.
no, okay, so I'll do my last one, and
Hmm.
then we'll talk about the other game after that.
Cool.
So the last game that's on my list has the absolute most nostalgia for. Uh, Russ can understand a little bit too, because I've known Russ for a very long time. And also, when I found this I've always wanted this complete in box, because it had so many memories to me, and that is F1 Race for the Game Boy.
Okay. Okay.
And F1 Race holds a lot of memories for me because myself and my dad used to play it. And my dad used to play it all the time. It was probably the only Game Boy game that he would play. As a matter of fact, if we could zoom in here, I'll try to get a good shot of it. This is this is a picture that I took of my dad on the couch playing F1 Race, and I even wrote on it, "Dad playing Game Boy F1 Race," right there on the bottom. He's wearing his Tupperware shirt, which is in the Superman logo, and so this just has a lot of memories. For a lot of people that know me, know that my dad just passed away uh, back in November, shortly after his 70th birthday. Um, so I find myself going back to F1 Race a lot because it's one of those games that my dad didn't play a lot of Nintendo or video games or anything like that, but my dad was a race car driver, and he always had a blast playing F1 Race. So when I was able to get this complete in box, I believe I got it at Too Many Games several years ago, and it has the 4-player adapter in there where you can hook it up to 4 racers at once. Um, I think I ended up getting it for like $20 back then, and it was probably the best CIB pickup that I've ever picked up because that's how much nostalgia it has. So shout out to Dad, shout out to the game. I love this game.
Awesome. Yeah,
So
can't say I
sweet.
ever played too much of this. I definitely played some racing games, but looking at some gameplay here.
Super fun. So if you
Yeah,
guys haven't played F1 Race, it's a straight up racing game. Uh, and you go. I think there's tournaments. I haven't played it in quite a bit, but all I do remember is that every single time you play, it's super fun.
nice. Sweet. All right. Well, we asked you guys on our various social medias too to comment and let us know what you guys thought were some sports games that didn't suck. So we'll read some of your comments.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
Let's hear from you. Let's jump over to our Instagram. Let me back up here.
I think we got quite a bit this week. No,
Let's see. Sports games that don't suck. Where's your post?
there
Here
it
it is.
is, right on the left.
All right.
Yeah.
We got 9 comments on
Wow.
here.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's read them out. All right, who do we got? We got Dragon Punch Dave. While I'm not a big sports fan, I did enjoy a few select sports games. Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES was addictive despite its simple graphics due to its excellent gameplay. NBA Jam on the SNES was also a favorite with its exciting slam dunks, secret characters, and awesome commentary. Finally, WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game on the PlayStation, had cool digitized graphics reminiscent of Mortal Kombat, along with impressive moves and hilarious commentary, too. We got Tom Ryan chiming in says, Hal's Hole in One Gold on the SNES. Another golf game. I never heard of that one before.
No, me neither.
I'm not familiar either. I
So
will go check it out now.
we'll have to check that one out. And the Rushmore Show was just commenting probably my three favorite on her little thumbnail. It was Tecmo Super Bowl, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and Baseball Star. So he's referring to those there. And we got Bell Anthony. Definitely the old Sega Genesis sports games. Sega Sports was incredible back then. Joe Montana Sports Talk, Holyfield Boxing Jam It. NBA Jam is one of my favorite games of all time. I remember when Blockbuster had the tournament I went to one in Fairfield, and I actually came in first place on NBA Jam, lost on the other games. Dave
Oh,
won it.
that's something we didn't talk about.
Dave was in an NBA Jam tournament with me and ended up winning.
I won the whole
Nice.
thing. Yeah. There's a YouTube video on it. Go check it out on Russ's channel.
We got Ty's Gaming and Collection says, when I was younger, I loved sports games like Ken Griffey Baseball, but outside of traditional sports games, my favorite would be NFL Blitz. Suplexing your opponent was just so satisfying. And we got, let's see, Brass Processing. Does he play horns and also does computer work? Or is that a play on blast processing too? Sega Genesis. Good name. Good name. He says Nintendo World Cup, Super Spike V-Ball, and ice hockey are all amazing on the NES. Love it. Retroholic 16. What's up, guys? The Genesis was my favorite for sports games growing up and had some bangers like NBA Jam, Mutant League Football, and NHL 94, which people to this day still consider one of the best hockey games ever. The GameCube also had some great ones like NHL Hits series and the NBA Street games. And we got eSpot Gaming Center. Really are a lot to list, but I'll simply say I have fantastic memories of my father and I slugging it out through the years in a variety of boxing games. Boxing on Atari 2600, Ring King for the NES, Legends of the Ring on SNES were definitely favorites. That's a good mix of
They're all good ones. Yeah.
games you guys were talking about on there for sure. Let's see what else we got. We got YouTube community page. I'll pull up.
And if we had a full like hour just to talk about this, I can come up with so many more games. That's great.
River City Ransom. All of the more arcade style games were the best to play. NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, MLB Slugfest, and Red Card were all super fun. Sega Soccer Slam is also super underrated. Get on that if you have it. Never heard of that one.
No.
Sega Soccer Slam?
No.
Okay. One Eye Open. Tecmo Super Bowl may be my favorite sports game of all time. Patty Collector. I love Super Dodgeball for the comical violence, and NBA Street 2, 2003, which focused on tricks and combos rather than sports simulation. Mike Naruo says Tecmo Bowl was always fun to play, unless your friends were using the Raiders.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. NHL 93 and 94 were also great. We got Purge and Spurge Thrifting. My buddy Colby says, I'm going to try to break this down as simple as I can. There we go.
I love the bullet points.
All right. NES, we got ice hockey. Agreed. Super NES, Mega Man Soccer. No one's mentioned that. Okay. I'd like to stream that one day.
Mhm.
Super Mario Kart, WWF Raw is War, and WWF Royal Rumble, and Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. On Sega Genesis, he goes NHL 94 and Mutant League Hockey. On the Wii Bowling, of course. Funny side note, I was sick for 2 weeks a few weeks back with the flu and bowled my first 300 perfect game.
Nice.
I feel like that missed opportunity to, like, if you bowl it in the Wii, like, Nintendo sends you a patch or, like, something, like, should be a bonus. N64, we got Snowboard Kids 1 and 2, 1080 snowboarding, and a solid under the radar game, Milo's Astro Lanes, so a bowling
Huh.
game. PlayStation 1, we got Tony Hawk Pro Skater, uh, 2, so we went with 2. I
Mhm.
probably spent a year solid playing this game. Also, WWF SmackDown, I love this game, and when it dropped was my favorite. For the arcade machines and for nostalgia memories, I'm going 2 arcade machine bangers, NBA Jam, and Mortal Kombat 2, because martial arts is technically a sport, right? Cheers, guys. Oh, he's not wrong there, right?
Nope,
Nope.
not wrong.
And Phoenix Cerebus says, never been into sports games, largely due to microtransactions. Oh, must be on the new ones. And pushing the same game year after year with slight changes, but a full price tag. Only sports games I enjoy were those ones with the comical twist to it, like Nintendo World Cup, caveman games,
Mhm.
and brutal sports football on the Atari Jaguar. I wonder if that was their combatants to Mutant League football. They're like, we'll do a brutal sports football on Atari Jaguar.
Mutant League is so good too.
Yeah. There's some really
Right,
good
right.
games on there.
Yeah.
And then what do we got? Did I do Facebook? I think our Facebook group as well. We got a few comments on there. Let's jump over there. So again, if you guys aren't following us on these social media platforms, we're posting basically daily on
Yeah.
these on Instagram, Facebook, and on our YouTube community page. Here's our sports here. Ryan says, one sports game that I remember playing a lot as a kid was Looney Tunes B-Ball on SNES. I would watch Space Jam a lot, and this game was the closest thing we got.
That's funny because didn't they
Yeah.
just release Looney Tunes basketball on Switch? I
Oh,
think
I don't
that
know.
just came out maybe a few weeks ago.
Oh,
I
maybe.
actually kind of wanted to try it because it looked super fun.
It is a cool game. It is pretty cool for sure.
Yeah. So that's
Nice.
new.
Let's see, going back through there. I think that was everyone's comments on there. Dave, did you want to bring up what one more game, right?
Yeah, I mean the one thing. I mean Super Bowl's this weekend, right? So we got to talk about Tecmo Super Bowl. I mean, I
That's
think that
right.
that's Tecmo Super Bowl, man. I mean, they just took what everybody loved about Tecmo Bowl
Right.
and just
Just what was that? They
just
just
blasted off into space and just made it better. Like it was great. Like it's
Cranked
such
it
a
to
good.
11.
That's right. I mean, just it's just a good. It's I'll say it's a great NES game. I
it's a
love it. I
great
love it.
NES game.
It's
So
so
they
good.
they do also with this same thing with NHL 94 we spoke about. They use this game as a basis to do roster updates, right? So you can get
Mhm,
Tecmo Super Bowl 2025. So you can have your Travis Kelsey's and other players
mhm,
in there. And they do there's a website somewhere where they find the two teams that are in the Super Bowl and they have computer versus computer play
mhm.
to kind of predict, how the Super Bowl's gonna outcome. So if that's something you're into, you can watch the 8-bit Super Bowl through
Hmm.
this.
What's really interesting though about this is like you look at that gameplay,
Hmm.
and that gameplay is nearly identical to Tecmo Bowl.
Right, right.
There's not much difference, but it is such a far superior game.
I mean, again, it's just the developers taking probably
Yeah,
feedback and maybe they had a little bit more time to
yeah.
redefine the formula and they're like, all right, let's
Mhm.
add this, fine tune this. put this out, and then people really, really enjoyed it.
It's great. I love it.
It's cool that
Tecmo
they've
Super Bowl.
taken, 2 games we've talked about and like this podcast here, that they've used those games and are updating them with
Right.
modern teams. Like, that's crazy that those games came out that long ago and they're still being used with that. Like, that's super cool that we have games that we grew up with that they're doing that with. They're that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this way, maybe you don't wanna get the new Madden 2025 or whatever they're
Because you
doing with
just love
current
the
sports
old one,
games.
right? Yeah,
Right.
Right.
Why change it, if it's not broke, right? Why fix it if it's not
exactly.
broke? This formula works. I like the retro stuff. Just give me updated, characters so I feel like, playing something new.
Nice.
A little refresher. Sweet.